Awesome. So with AUD you guys see we were on a downward trend. All right, and price violated this trend line. We had a strong impulse that broke through this trend line, signifying bullish momentum, bullish reversal. All right, we had some divergence, signifying some manipulation. Okay, we had that strong impulse. All right, now we are on a flag retracement. All right, we did get a third touch of this trend line. And you guys can see we did have a strong daily rejection that closed right above our 75.500 psychological region. All right, we also have a head and shoulders, and keep in mind this on a daily time frame. All right, so the higher the time frame, the more likely this is going to play in our favor. All right, scaling down to our 4 hour, we did manage to get some dynamic support with our moving average, strong 4 hour engulfing, which snapped us right back to I believe the 75.500. Okay, so essentially we're looking to definitely see this break out of this flag formation, and simply by measuring our last impulse, okay, we can identify our target. All right. Okay, so go pick this up. So again, we are looking to take profits at the 77.4500 region. Okay, so this AUD going to move on with AUD. So we actually did get on a members only call earlier this morning, and if you guys did get on that, I know some of us are in our members only chat. We called a sell off this pair. Okay, the reason we called a sell off this pair, again, just going off a higher time frame. All right, you guys can see we were downward trending. Okay, we want to find out where the trend is going. You guys, just keep it simple. There are only three ways the market can move. Okay, so let me ask you guys, what are those ways? All right, so there's three ways the market can move. All right, so go ahead and type it in the chat what ways the market can move. All right,
Sideways, up or down.
okay, Bree. All right, Bree, awesome, awesome, awesome. So if you guys didn't hear Bree, she said the market can either go up, sideways, or down. Okay, so as a technical trader, you need to be aware of this. All right, I know most of you are looking for a golden strategy, a golden indicator, one setup that will make you a lot of money. But just keep in mind, there's no such thing. All right, it doesn't exist, and it never did exist. All right, the market is too complex to rely on one strategy or one indicator. You have to be able to read the market, and especially top down, reading it from the higher time frames to the lower time frames. Okay, the market is very complex. All right, you need to be able to do this to read the market. All right, simply by again reading the higher time frames, we were able to identify this is on a downward trend by the series of lower lows and lower highs. Okay, zooming in, okay, on these last couple of days, you guys can see that price was creating higher highs and higher lows, but we had a strong rejection of that trend line that was well respected. Okay, and price bounced off, and we were waiting for a break or bounce of this third touch on this trend line. You guys can see we have one, two, and that third touch, and price snapped below and had a daily close below this trend line and below this blue zone. And if we look at the past, this was a well-respected area. All right, so this morning we called a sell on the setup because we had a strong break on our 4 hour, and it broke our moving average as well. All right, so TP1, again, just looking at our left, we can see some support, and TP2, I believe 100 pips, we do have support here as well. Okay, so again, just going off a higher time frame, we were able to identify the trend, and we were able to be on the correct side of money. All right, so like Bree said, there's only three ways the market can move, but with that being said, how many ways can you make money? All right, so that's my second question to you guys. How many ways can you make money in this game? All right, there's only two ways. So what are those two ways?
Uptrend or downtrend.
I'm sorry about that.
Buying and selling.
Awesome, awesome, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So there is only two ways to Again, there's only three ways the market can move, and there's only two ways to make money. And like Bree said, buying or selling, which is beautiful. Okay, so again, since we identified the market is going down, we were looking for shorting positions. Okay, we were looking to sell. All right, so this is AUD USD, and the reason we sold this was because we do have some, I believe, US dollar strength. So to continue, we called this uh, buy, I believe, in our signals chat yesterday. The reason we took this setup, again, going off a higher time frame, we identified where the market is going. Okay, so the market is currently ranging. The reason we say that is because we have a C or price just ping ponging in these yellow zones. Okay, so price came back up here, but before that, you guys can see we were in this downtrend for a while. Okay, we had a double bottom, strong impulse, flag correction. Okay, and essentially, so essentially, let me go ahead and clear this up for you guys. Okay, so essentially, we had that strong impulse. We're looking for this correction. All right, you guys can see at this green zone. All right, zooming in to the 4 hour time frame. All right, we had a strong or a impulse that broke above this downward trend line, retest and continuation. We took the buy. Again, if we can zoom in, we had a strong impulse flag correction. We took the buy, and we are currently in profits, guys. So TP 100 pips is the top of our target is the top of this zone. All right, Euro AUD. If you guys remember, we've been looking at this pair for quite a while. We always have our receipts on deck. See, right over here. So again, we've been looking at this pair for quite a while. All right, and we were waiting for a break or bounce of this zone. All right, so essentially, price came to our blue zone, and you guys can see we had a lot of indecision. Just reading these candlesticks, we had price. Essentially, buyers and sellers didn't know where to take price. Okay, and we finally had an engulfing, a daily engulfing candlestick that engulfed the last 3 days of price action, which snapped us above our moving average. All right, scaling down, and again, this is the third touch of this trend line, so that's why price paused. Okay? So scaling down to our 4 hour time frame, we can see we had and just looking at this yellow zone, we had price break above this yellow zone, retest, and we actually called a buy limit. You guys, it almost hit our buy limit, or I'm sorry, it almost hit our stop loss, and essentially snapped right back above and hit our target. There was some very strong euro weakness today, which brought uh, euro AUD, euro pound, uh, down, and then euro caught some strength and shot price right back up. So essentially, we were up, I believe, 30 pips. Price came down 80, and then shot back up total 125. So again, smashed our target, um, and we got off this trade again with this inverted head and shoulders break, retest, continuation. And again, we went off a higher time frame to identify where price was going. All right, we identified that we were on the third touch of this trend line. Okay, so we were looking for a break or bounce. If price broke, we were looking to sell off down to the second touch. But since it did reject, we were able to get in on a buy. Okay, so we had two options playing out for us. All right, euro pound. This pair we are in, and I believe I have a better markup down here somewhere for you guys. Okay, awesome. So looking at this setup, you guys can see price broke our flag. Okay, this triangle right over here. So price broke this flag, and you guys can see when it did break, we had a strong flag, or I'm sorry, impulse flag correction, which ended up retesting the other side of our trend line. Okay, and then we had another impulse, and keep in mind, from this swing to this swing, it was a 61 retracement. Another impulse retest, so we got off this 61 retracement, and it is our neckline. Okay, the reason I say that, it is creating a head and shoulders formation, you guys. So it is creating our head and shoulders, retesting our neckline. We do have some confluence with our moving average as well, support to resistance. Again, our head and shoulders break a flag. So we're stacking confirmations on this trade. All right, you guys. Um, targets would be target one would be the bottom of this channel, which initially started. Extend that out for you guys. Okay, and I see we do have some confluence with our moving average, and target two would be the B point of this harmonic. Okay, target three would be the very bottom, and it is in confluence with our channel. And I do have another one that has like a full analysis. That setup was just for our members only, just to keep the setup clean. But again, we do have a deep top-down analysis from the monthly, so we have a lot of confluence on the setup. All right, and just looking at the weekly, go ahead and just clean it up for you guys, just so you guys can see. Looking at price action, you guys can see we had a mean weekly pin bar. Okay, signifying very strong rejection, reversal. Okay, so we're looking for some follow through. And again, just reading these candlesticks, you guys see how small they are, how choppy. All right, as opposed to these very strong Marabozas that are very I guess can't think of the word. I guess enticing would be it. Okay, so it doesn't look convinced. That's the word. It's not convincing. Okay, so you guys can see this is a lot more stronger, some confidence with these bars. Okay, as opposed to these very choppy, very small. All right, and we are looking for some reversal. We've been on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 11 weeks. Okay, so Euro AUD, Euro Pound, Pound CAD. The reason I like this setup is because we are in a well-respected zone. We did have a nice hammer close last week. Okay, scaling down to the daily, we did have some divergence. Price ended up breaking our channel and scaling down to the 4-hour. Again, I'm potentially seeing, I believe it was on the 1 hour, I don't know, potential inverted head and shoulders forming. Okay, so the blue line would be the neckline. It looks like it broke and it's retesting right now. And pound CAD does look like a buy, but I want to hold off. Okay, I'm personally looking. I like pound USD more. Okay, the reason I say that is just looking top down. We had a lot more confirmations. Okay, and we are squeezing into this flag formation. Price is getting squeezed. Okay, so when it gets squeezed like this, you guys, there's only two ways price can go. All right, it can either go up or it can go down. All right, if it does break above, all right, we can hopefully look for a retest and ride this up. Okay, so this is on a higher time frame, so it's going to take time for these moves to play out. All right, NJ, we called a buy on this. The reason was because it is on this up channel. We had strong impulse, flag, impulse. We look for a retest over here. Going off a weekly time frame, it looks like it is retesting the last previous swings. So that's why we executed off this trade. Looking off the daily, we had a strong pin bar. Okay, and price, you guys can see, violated our trend line, but ended up closing right back. So our buys aren't our buys are not violated yet. I think it's just a fake out. So we need to see. The reason I say that is looking off the 4 hour, we had a price snap down, and we had price come right back. Okay, and it looks like it didn't go off the last previous candle. Say okay, so we just have to hold off on this. So other than that, it did not hit our stop loss yet. So we have to accept the trade and either let it hit our TP or stop loss. All right. USD JPY. If you guys remember, if you guys were on this call yesterday, we were looking for NZD buys and USD JPY buys. We set off the 108 psychological zone. Okay. We had an impulse flag. You guys see it tipped our 108, and we literally shot up after that. Okay. So if it does break above, retest this yellow zone, we can look to place more entries. And other than that, I believe that's it. Just AUD CAD. I don't know if I went over this, but I've gone over it plenty of times. So price came back to our 0.91500 psychological zone. We had divergence off the higher time frames. We had an inverted head and shoulders, strong impulse, retest, another impulse. Okay, and now we are back on. You guys can see we had one, two, and that third touch. Okay, I'm liking the rejection. Looks like some potential indecision, potential reversal. All right, 4 hour we did have a nice impulse. That did engulf the last previous candle, and it did looks like it did almost close above our 0.9500. Okay. Other than that, do you guys have any questions at all? Let me go ahead and check the chat. Again, just keep it simple. The market only moves in three ways. We go off a higher time frame to identify where the market's going. All right, and then we look to place our positions based off the market. All right, you need to understand the market. The market is made up of people. Okay, and you need to understand where people are trying to sell and where they're trying to buy, because you want to be on the right side of money. You want to be on the correct side of that smart money. Okay. Other than that, AJ bullish, AU looking for that USD strength to bring this down. Cat Chef, we're in profits, looking to ride us up to our targets. Euro AUD, our TP smashed on that. Euro pound, we are at our entry, and I am looking for this to smash to our target 3. Okay, so about 400 pips total. Catch pound CAD. Honestly, there are better moves out there, but I will keep my eyes on it. All right. So I do have my eyes set on a few, though I do have a watch list. Okay. So I keep my eyes on what are some potential moves for the week, but I always write down what are the moves for the day, or what I'm looking to execute on. All right. So I always keep journals of what I am doing. And NZD I'm still bullish on this. Okay, so you got to keep in mind trend lines can be like it's like a trend line is like a fence. Okay, so you can tip over on the fence on the other side. All right, as long as the trend line is not broken, as long as it's not violated, meaning it doesn't close on the other side. Okay, so again, we did have price come all the way down and it snapped right back. Okay, so if we do have some follow through, we can look to void out our buys, or this could be just a fake out. All right, you have to understand that in order for you to win, someone else has to lose. As soon as you take a buy, someone else is on the other side of your buy selling. And as soon as one tick goes in your favor, one tick goes against that other person. The money you're getting, the money he's losing. All right. The reason we have fake outs is we have fake outs because it traps people. It gets people into the market. It entices people to get into the market, which brings more value. Okay, so for example, you see how we had price snap back below this trend line. Imagine how many people sold. Imagine how many breakout traders, how many people set their buy or sell stops or sell limits as soon as it came back to retest. All right, and imagine price just coming right back. Okay, so everyone who just sold is essentially trapped. Okay, so someone who has a big account like a money manager, a portfolio manager, all right, for him to get the best position on his trade, all right, say his initial move is going to be a buy. Okay, so say I am going to buy. All right, first I'm going to sell price down to convince sellers, to convince people to get into the market. All right, by doing so, I am giving myself a bigger opportunity to gain profits. Okay, Right after I sell it down, I'll buy it right back up, and I'll trap everybody who just sold. Okay, so I have an opportunity to make more money. All right, so you have to understand how the market moves, and it only takes one person to negate the positive outcomes of your trade. Okay, but other than that, again, I don't want to keep this call too long. Appreciate everyone for hopping on. We will have a 9 o'clock call for our members only, just to go through. Uh, I don't know. We'll probably pick a topic tonight just to go over. Um, and again, obviously, to recap what the pairs are doing. Other than that, appreciate everyone for hopping on this call. Um, Again, if you guys have any questions at all, this is the perfect time before I end it. So it's about a 20-minute call, so it was about good timing. Awesome. So I guess we don't have any questions. So again, God bless everybody for hopping on, and I hope everyone has an amazing day.